Turn around.
Go. You can do it. Go.
She's like, what's going on?
Pram pushes.
Too good. Hey everyone, it's 24th of October here in Sydney, Australia, and we've got Britain's strongest man here competing in less than 2 weeks time now, about a week and a half at Big Dogs Australia, which is the world's strongest powerlifting competition. And today is bench press day, but it's not just any bench press day, it's his last heavy bench press session before he competes next Saturday. So we're not going to promise any numbers today, Graham, unless you want to, but how are you feeling?
I feel good. I think I finally got hold of my jet lag a little bit.
Good. How long have you been here for now? A week yet?
6 days.
6 days. Okay, so that's a good enough time to catch up on some good sleep.
Yeah.
You're well fed. You're looking very muscular, I must say.
I feel big. I'm as big as I've always been. I'm very well fed and very well hydrated now.
So we're ready to do something big today.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've given you guys a little bit of we're going to give you guys a little bit of warm up. Show us our procedure that we take for our warm-ups, but if you want a little bit more content on our exercise technique, we just posted a big bench press session, which was his first bench press session here. It wasn't a heavy bench press session for him. He got 220 kilograms for 5 reps, like it was an empty bar, but in that bench press video, you guys got a great insight as to how we pretty much structure our entire program. So if you want more information, go back on that. But right now we're gonna turn our music up, which YouTube won't let us play on here. So there's not much talk, but we've got a lot of focus now. We've got a big session ahead of us, okay? Let's do it. That's what I'm grabbing. You all right? Let it hang at the top. Just hang it. There you go. And then bring it back down. Good. Be more upright. Don't be back like you're doing a bench press. Make your scapula go downwards this way. So full stretch, and then push your shoulder blades back and down. So don't lean back as much. Stay upright, John. So I don't need it to be. A lot of people think of my push-pull ratio of 1-to-1 as, and I used to the same way. When I do a horizontal push, like a bench press, I need to pair that with a horizontal pull. So a lot of people will go and do a lat pull down, and I like to pair the lat pull down with the bench press, and they think that I'm doing it because I want to mimic the exact opposite movement of a bench press. So they lean back, which isn't a bad exercise. So you can do that as well, is a good lean back. But I like to think of pairing a horizontal push like a bench press with a vertical pull, because one of the most important movements for the shoulder blades in a bench press isn't retraction, it's actually depression. And the best way to mimic the depression movement is actually a vertical pull. So that's why I actually like to pair a horizontal push in a bench press with a vertical pull in a lat pull down, so that we can focus on depression of the scapula. Of course, retraction and depression, but depression of the scapula is number one. So lat pull down isn't a horizontal pull, it's a vertical pull. Full stretch, shoulder blades back and down in the back pockets. So stay upright, that's good, that's perfect. Full stretch, shoulder blades back and down. Have a look at how much weight's on the bar. You could probably do the whole stack, but that's not the point. We're just warming up. We're just turning on his lats. We're just turning on the movement that we want to imitate in the bench press. Stimulate, not annihilate. Okay. These are the opposing muscle groups for his bench press. We warm up the opposing muscle groups before we even start loading weight on the bar. These are the external rotators, infraspinatus and teres minor. They sit on the scapula here, and the posterior fibers of the deltoid. That's the external rotators of the shoulder joint. You're technically not internally rotating with the bench press, but the pecs and lats are huge internal rotators of the shoulder joint. Soft sides. So have a look at his elbow position. It's kind of irrelevant so long as it kind of stays roughly where it is and this bone here rotates on axis. Okay, so the muscles that are controlling that are the external rotators of the shoulder joint, are the ones that I just mentioned, infraspinatus, teres minor, and posterior fibers of the deltoid. A lot of people misinterpret this exercise and they think that for it to be working effectively, he needs to have that elbow glued to the side of his body. Have you seen the size of Graham? That's a 160 kilo human, same height as me, which is, we'll call it 6 foot in shoes. But that's a big dude, and he can't physically stick his elbows on his midsection. Okay, so they're naturally going to be stuck out like this. Okay, it doesn't really matter. You can train your external rotators with your elbow at 90 degrees to your torso, so long as this bone here is stationary and we're rotating it on axis. Okay, but right here it's on an angle, that's fine, and we're rotating it on axis. Okay, so back to the lat pull down again. Let's go a little bit heavier. All good. Cool, back here. One more set on each. Two more. Good. Don't straighten that joint, keep it bent the whole time. That's it. Two more. Good. Okay. So we've done pretty much 2 sets on each. Pulling, 2 sets of external rotation. Before we go to a bench press, this isn't like a compulsory, it's just something that I like to do. We'll go and do some more because I know it's something that Graham needs, is more range of motion in his shoulder joint. So we did this as a warm-up for his squat session the other day, but I'm going to include it as a warm-up for his bench press. It's just some seated dumbbell shoulder press. Full stretch. You can see he's not very mobile. He's very tight in his shoulders. But what he's trying to do is let the weight of the dumbbells sink him into a full stretch position. Something that I also like to cue is to even pull it down like he's doing a lat pull down. Pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. So this is our mobility work. It's kind of warming up all of the right muscles through a full range of motion. Neutral grip is what our shoulder joint likes the most in this full stretch position. Okay, which is why we use the cue tucking the elbows in a bench press, because we're after that externally rotated position, so that all the right muscles in our, and the tendons in our shoulder joint have room to move. Okay, how are you feeling?
Good.
Look at the sweat on this guy. And we haven't even started yet.
I blame the humidity outside, but it's just me.
He's used to the UK temperatures, a little bit cooler than here.
I might sweat 5% less in the UK.
I might get you to do one more set.
Yeah.
Keep it a bit closer to your body so you can get a deeper stretch. Pull it down, pull it down. Good. Deeper, 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 deeper. Good. Good. There's a lot of mass here. That's some very handy muscles that we're going to be needing to press what we want to press today.
To bare my soul, ain't afraid to walk on coals. Hear the thunder when I step, you know where to place your bet. I'm burning like a house on fire, cutting like a razor wire. I ain't gonna tell no lies, I ain't gonna apologize. Can't stop me now. Ain't
Okay.
Let's else lose a bit of that, how big I'll look.
That's okay, you need that, that's a power belly. All right, that was the end of the bench press session. I'm very happy with that. I just had a look at Graham walking towards me and he's just grown twice the size, which is pretty impressive. For me, it's not really that important. It's not an aesthetics show. He's not judged on his appearance, but damn, he looks like he can win some proper powerlifting shows. So do you want to just give us a rundown of that session? How did you go?
Did a 280 single, which is a PB, 7.5 kilo PB, and then did a 240 back down set for 5. My previous best was 3. So I'll definitely say that the weights are lighter here in Australia, and I'm liking it.
The gravity is upside down now, right?
Must be, yeah. It must be harder training in the UK.
Well, I'm happy with that. Well done. It's not our last bench press session, but it's our last heavy bench press session. All of our heavy work's done. We're how many days out is that? 9 days out. We will still have another light squat, and light bench press session, just to feel the movements. But take the load off now. It's time to rest and come back even stronger.
I'm ready.
Let's just tell them again, where can they find you? You're on social media, Instagram?
Instagram's the main one that I use. Graham Hicks UK. I'm sure Ben will put it on the bottom of the YouTube link for you guys.
Yeah, I got you.
Give him a follow. This is the future of this sport. Britain's strongest man. I'm talking him out of that sport.
I'm just going to dominate powerlifting instead.
He's got a gift, so why not go for it? Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for 9 days time. Big dogs.